I pretend to be Peter Kreeft, professor of philosophy at Boston College. My disguise is good, right? I think so. I'm writing a history of philosophy, and the subtitle is The 100 Greatest Philosophers, and I couldn't not put him in there, even though there's no book that I know of that classifies him as a philosopher. I think he was one, and I'll try to prove it. He's a genius. He sees things as they are. He reverses our habit of standing on our head, and thus he's the least paradoxical of all writers. We're the ones who are the paradoxes. That classifies him as a great Thomist. In fact, three of the greatest Thomists of the 20th century, Gilson, Anton Pegas, and I think Joseph Owens, called it the greatest book anybody ever wrote about Thomas Aquinas. Well, Lewis tells you that in his autobiography, Surprised by Joy. Even as an atheist, he found Chesterton utterly sane and sensible. And The Everlasting Man is the single book that did the most of all books to convert Lewis. It showed him the Christian philosophy of history. My desire to observe that meeting in heaven, and my conviction that Socrates' heaven is everybody else's purgatory. So I write dialogues between Socrates and other philosophers. However, I thought, what if Socrates met Jesus? How would that work? Well, I tried to actually write a book where Socrates meets Jesus in heaven. It didn't work. You can't write fiction about Jesus. The figure in the Gospels makes every attempt at imaginative fiction of Jesus look silly. All the Jesus novels are stupid. So I said, well, suppose Socrates met Jesus indirectly at the most unlikely place in the world, namely Harvard Divinity School, where of course nobody believes in Jesus. So here's Socrates, an agnostic, meeting with these other agnostics, but the difference is that Socrates is rational and they're not, and he reasons his way into the Christian faith. They have to. They have to. We have a common enemy. There are serious and non-negotiable disagreements with Muslims, but they're not about either who our commanding officer is, and that's the one God, the God of Abraham, and it's not about who our enemy is, that's the devil and all his hosts. I haven't gotten any reactions from Muslims yet that I know of, but the reactions from Christians are gratifyingly opposite. I get criticized from the right and the left as being too soft on Islam and too hard on Islam, which makes me think, to quote Chesterton, that I might be just the right shape, and some people say I'm too fat, some people say I'm too thin. I think the obstacles to that would be very great, but if the obstacles were overcome, the profit would be very great, because Chesterton was a very happy man, and he didn't suffer terribly. Can one be a saint, a canonized saint, and be that happy and suffering free? Can one offer up one's joys as well as one's sufferings? Well, obviously yes, but it would give a lot of encouragement and hope to those of us who are fairly pampered and coddled and privileged and don't have much suffering in our life, that we too could become saints.